back again to talk through another virtual event platform. And this time we're going big. We're going multi, probably upwards to thousands of conference attendees, multi-day conference, and the platform's called vFairs. It is the first type of platform like this that we're really kind of taking a look at, and it mimics this virtual conference environment. And that is really its kind of cornerstone or differentiation from some of the other platforms. So instead of looking at someone's screen or talking about just the one screen kind of approach, we're now taken to this kind of virtual conference environment. And Lauren or Juan, like, what are your initial thoughts on kind of just the vFairs approach to a conference or an event?
I think it's kind of like Sims. Like it kind of looks like Sims, how you can like move your little avatar guy around to different areas. Like it really is kind of like a interactive almost game. Like that's what it looks like to me. So
yeah, how about you, Juan?
I think it does a great job on like trying to like retrieve those memories from like a physical conference, like, you know, whether you're mimicking what the venue lobby looks like or just seeing people around. So it's nice to have it.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head, Lauren. The Sims approach or the video game approach for me, I feel like we're, as a society, probably one step before where something like this could be really cool. You know, we're not quite in the VR mode of I'm going to put on my my Oculus and I'm going to go to this virtual conference and interact with virtual avatars that are actual real people. Everything that's mimicked in here could probably be taken to that level eventually. But right now it's just like static roaming bodies and you don't know who they are or what they're doing in there, but it's kind of made to look like that conference environment, which is kind of cool. But overall, we thought it was kind of a little gimmicky as well. So overall, just to kind of give you the rundown of the ratings, we gave the platform a 7 out of 10 for ease of use. And there's a big kind of asterisk in this for me, and that ease of use comes from relinquishing basically total control of your event. For conference planners and event planners, and I can speak to this, I obviously have been doing some freelance work on larger conferences as well, is the last thing you want to do is have to go to another source to run a registration report, or every time that you need to make a change to something. With vFairs, it is going to require a conversation, but that being said, you do have a dedicated team, development team from vFairs working alongside of you. So if you're stretched thin, or if you're in a position where you've been tasked to plan this virtual conference and you're not quote unquote technology savvy, this might be a good option for you to consider, because you'll be able to transfer a lot of that responsibility over to the vFairs team. But if you're someone who likes to have control and have the power to run registration reports and see data and make changes on your own, there might be another platform out there for you. On the topic of customization, we gave it an 8 out of 10. And Lauren, talk us through kind of how vFairs approaches customization.
So they can basically recreate the physical venue that you were going to have your event in. So I keep thinking about, like, I went to a career fair in college. I know that's kind of one of their big selling points is to career fairs. And they can, whether that be in an auditorium, in conference center, wherever, like they recreate that space virtually. So I'm guessing you send them photos, maybe they have designers who have been in that space, but they like rebuild it in a Sims way. And on top of that, they can also build booths for different vendors. So say you have a tech company who's going to be at this career fair, they can brand that booth so that it looks like how it would look in real life. So it is like truly the most customizable way you could enter this event.
And one kind of big thing to note with the customization is that you can assume with vFairs that if you're customizing something, there's going to be a couple dollar signs attached to it. So yes, they can give you the sun, the moon, and the stars, but take your base budget, maybe double it, triple it for all of those customizations that you might be looking for. As we were going through pricing information, which we'll talk about in a little bit, there's a menu of customization options that have price tags attached to them as well. So perfect. Talking through security then, Juan, give us the rundown on what to expect with vFairs.
vFairs is hosted on their own platform, so you're hoping to find that you are attached to their compliance, and there's several level of security. I know in the past we talked about Adobe Connect, where you have the option to host that on your own servers and your own platform, following your own security features. Here's different because you're depending on a third party for everything. They do use third party to house your content. So YouTube, Vimeo, that means you're governed by their compliance, you're governed by their protocols. So it gives you little to no room to really enforce privacy if you're in a high compliance environment.
But ultimately, what causes us to give it a 6 out of 10 is the fact that everything is hosted by vFairs. So to that point, and kind of piggybacking off of that, integrations, we gave it a 2 out of 10, pretty low. Juan, talk us through why vFairs doesn't really integrate with anything.
It is a platform that it's made to their standards, or you can pay to customize, but it's all seems to be custom coded. So they don't have a ton of APIs. It's anything you want, you can request it, and maybe they can do it, maybe they cannot. And as Greg said earlier, it comes with a couple dollars, but there's not an easy integration.
Using registration as the continued example, if you're getting registrants from an external source, it's an export-import process with vFairs, and you're going to end up in a situation where you're constantly sending new reports and new updates over to their development team. And unfortunately, the nature of the beast is developers are tech, not meetings. And I've come into contact with this multiple times when we're on site, is just because the box is checked, it doesn't mean that it was properly cross-checked. So it could potentially lead to this big ball of yarn that has to be untangled hours before the event kickoff. So just something to consider there. If you are moving forward with vFairs, we would recommend utilizing their in-house registration tools, utilizing them for everything, just to avoid having to export, import for anything that's not integrated. Great. And then to wrap up with price here, Lauren or Juan, can you talk us through where pricing model starts and how it could potentially increase?
Pricing starts at close to $15,000 a year for when you're hosting one event only. It does become you get some savings when you're hosting multiple events throughout the year. You really get only one exhibit hall. You get about up to 200 vendors on the exhibit hall. You get one lobby and one registration desk. What probably your biggest takedown on pricing was the fact that it's not easy. There's like a bunch of little pieces, and this will add, and this will add, and this will add. So it's very hard for you to know out of the box until you go through the entire process of putting the entire event together how much you're actually going to end up paying for it.
What I like about their approach to those customizations, in a sense, is that you can potentially work that into your exhibitor costs. So if you're doing a custom booth for an exhibitor, you build that customization cost into the base cost of what you're charging the exhibitor, plus whatever markup you're making on top of that to potentially generate some revenue for yourself. So I do like, in a sense, the a la carte kind of approach, but ultimately I do feel like it's very easy for the cost of the platform to get way out of hand. All that being said, super fun platform. We would give it an overall rating of a 5 out of 10. So middle of the road for us, just because of those variables that we've mentioned here. But definitely worth kind of checking out their demo, and it was fun to play around in their virtual event environments. So until next time, thank you.